looked like a bit of a track meet in both halves. We knew this was a high octane offense coming in. You did check their 2-point percentage, but from three, they got off and kind of kept going there for a while. What did you think about this game in both teams' offenses?
Yeah, I mean, I thought in the first half, Kevin, holding them to 35 points and 36% from the field, pretty good, but then 8 threes. So it's 3-point defense. And I think if you look across tonight's game, as a coach, it would be the 12 made threes, and it would certainly be the 15 offensive rebounds, especially when you got Oklahoma on the schedule, an undefeated team, a team that's great offensive rebounding team, a team that has 3s and 4s that pound the glass with reckless abandon. I thought our transition defense in the second half, needs to be better. Thought first half transition defense was really good. But we have to play much better across the board. Everything's about progress. I thought, when you look at our rebounding, I thought Devo Davis, 9 defensive rebounds, Layden Blocker, 5 defensive rebounds, 2 real positive areas. We need our guards to defensive rebound, and those 2 guys did it. And then other guys need to do a better job, but even L. Ellis had 3 defensive rebounds in 11 minutes, or 2 defensive rebounds. So our point guard position more than held their own from a defensive rebounding standpoint. But we've got to rebound better defensively. And I thought we did a great job taking care of the basketball in the second half. The 21 assists we built off the 17 assists that we had against Duke. Didn't really turn the ball over, only 4, turnovers in the second half. And we shot 61% from the field for the game. Thought we did a good job. Bench points, awesome. Claw, Chandler Lawson inside, 8 of 10 from the field, 3 blocks, 51 bench points, 25 from KB, 52 points in the paint. A lot of good things, but some areas defensively that we have to improve on. Yeah, we met this morning at shoot around, and I just, I told him, hey, I would like to give these guys an opportunity to start that played well against Duke. Ask him his feelings, because I think the one thing you learn in the NBA is you don't change a player's rotation or role based on injury. And certainly he had an injury, and if you change the rotation based on productivity, that is what it is. But certainly the game that T. Mark was coming off, I did not want him to feel that his role as a starter was changing based on the fact that he had an injury, because again, the place that I grew up at in the pros, you just don't do that. So I thought it was worthy of a conversation. He said, I figured that was coming, coach, and I'm cool with it. Anything that you think can help us win. So he had great maturity when he and I talked earlier today.
Eric, KB had 20 in the second half. I guess that's the first half he started. Why did you decide to start him? And then I think he only played 7 or 8 minutes in the first half. What was the deal there?
Well, I think in the first half, I'm not sure, Bob, how many fouls he had, but some defensive assignments that were, we were just shuffling guys in and out the first half based on missed defensive assignments. But certainly we tried to run plays for him. We brought him off a stagger a couple times on our 50 series. We ran some isolations at the top of the key. We found him in transition. I mean, he's a dynamic scorer. There's not many players in college basketball that can have 20 and a half, and certainly he can create his own shot, and he's a high volume free throw attempt player. So when your team needs points in a hurry and he just rises up over people, if you crowd him, he beats you off the bounce and draws free throws. Yeah, and I thought that, Davenport first half really didn't have any blown defensive assignments. We just felt like we needed KB out there. And obviously, when we made one of our runs in the second half, we went small. We felt that we weren't guarding the 3-point shot with our big lineup, so we went a little bit smaller. We moved T. Brazil from the 4 to the 5, played 3 to 4 guards. Mark was in at the 4, or Devo at the 4, whoever you want And I thought that helped us crowd the ball a little bit more, but it also affected our poor rebounding outing. I'd rather not comment on. I mean, we took 2 free throws in the first half, and we're pushing the ball in the paint. You look at our paint points. We had 52 paint points and only 2 free throws at the half. We're one of the best free throw attempt teams in the league, or not in the league, in the nation. And it's not like we were hoisting threes. For a team to take 32 3 balls and go to the line basically the same amount of time, we were trying to draw free throws. That's a big part of our game, and it didn't happen. I thought he was great. Our team's been under the weather for like 3 weeks. Started before we went to the Bahamas. I've had it twice. Met with the strength coach, met with the trainer. We're going to have to start lifting weights at different times because it's just a little nagging cold and cough, which, semi affects your energy. And that's been going on. Like I said, it's already gone around the team, and now I have it for the second time in the last 3.5 weeks. So we got to do a better job of washing our hands and having better spacing off the floor. I thought he was phenomenal. I thought it was his best game of the year. We played him all over the place. We played him at the 1, we played him at the 2, we played him at the 3, we played him at the 4. He saved us from a rebounding standpoint without a question. His defensive rebound saved the game for us. He just does what's asked of him, and we felt if he hung around the dunker spot and kind of relocated, Furman's really, really good offensively, but they struggle with points in the paint. And if you don't take advantage of it, you're not going to beat them. And I thought Chandler did exactly what we asked. He didn't force any shots. It's hard to get a player to have 8 of 10, but he finished through contact and was very aggressive offensively when he did catch the ball. And he did all that with only 1 offensive rebound. So.
And I thought it was interesting that both Devo and KB said multiple times when they were up here, they were mentioning margin of victory, putting teams away, extending leads. Has that been an area of emphasis maybe for you guys here the last few days?
Well, I think certainly when you look at some of these numbers across the, I don't even know how it works. It's like doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But yeah, we have to start having a sense of urgency in our overall game for 40 minutes.
Coach, Devo, the near triple-double, but it feels like even before the past 2 games, he's been making the right plays offensively for the most part. Have you felt like maybe it was just kind of a matter of time before the rest of the team kind of followed suit? And how important is it for your senior leader like that to kind of embrace maybe not being the scoring leader and impacting the game across a variety of ways?
Yeah, I think it's really important. I really do. He's distributing the ball to guys like T. Mark, and he's distributing the ball and defending. Look, we put Devo Davis on the best offensive perimeter player every single night. And that takes a load off of other people. And then if other guys aren't guarding their guy and Devo's guarding the best guy, we can't keep playing that player, whoever it may be, because Devo is taking a guy and then T. Mark's taking the next best offensive. Somebody else got to guard the 3rd best perimeter player. And if you can't, we are tired of giving that opportunity when we know that those 2 guys are guarding the 1st best player and the 2nd best player. So we have to get better perimeter defenders from whoever the 3rd guy is on the floor when T. Mark and Devo are in there.
And just real quick, any update on TB? We saw him come back to the bench, but obviously
it's pretty bad sprain. Yep. Having said that, 24 hours from now, we'll know more. Nothing other than a sprain. Doctors were messing with it, and it is a sprain. It is a pretty good sprain. It's already swollen.
You mentioned the escalation and assists the last few games, and it's multiple guys, even Battle as a scorer, setup guy, blocker with 5 off the bench, Devo's night. What do you attribute that to after the struggles and the 3 losses in 4 games when it was pretty stagnant as far as that ball movement in and out and side to side? What changed?
Well, I think you got to talk about it, Kevin. I think you got to point it out through video. I talked about the video, even that I had sent out to the guys. And so we've got to continue to share the ball. The ball's got to have eyes. We've got to understand we have multiple weapons offensively and to not do it alone. And, blocker helps us with that. And Devo helps us with that. Those 2 guys in particular help the ball move. And I think KB is understanding that he's drawn extra defenders. And when you draw an extra defender, you do your job, and then you gotta move it. So I think all those things become factors. Yeah, I mean, I think that his attitude of because he tried to practice the other day and he barely could move, but he was out there. I mean, you could tell he was stiff. He was a little apprehensive, and then each day that went by, he got a little bit more active. And yesterday he was pretty good. Like we felt like he was going to be able to play. He said he was going to give it a go. And then today at shoot around, he went as hard as anybody. So, look, when he hit the floor, it looked bad. When the doctors were with him at the hospital, they were really concerned. We're lucky. He's lucky because there was a lot of concern, but he, is a really tough-minded kid and wanted to play as quick as he possibly could, which was, tonight he only missed 1 game, which is, unheard of for a back, a groin, and a hip, kind of all 1 injury off 1 fall. Just a guy. And doing multiple rehabs and he wanted to play, I mean, some guys are really thirsty to compete, and he's certainly a student athlete that really, wants to get out there and compete, and he loves competition. Yes, certainly. I'm hopeful. I mean, I'm hopeful that we get, multiple rehabs a day, which TB has been, when I look at his, what he's done with the training staff through his whole rehab, like he was living in the training room, and we're going to need him to be in the training room a lot to try to get the swelling down and the mobility whenever he can play. I'm not sure when that will be. Chandler means a great deal to the team. Attitude, following the game plan, being a great teammate, being no maintenance. He's a 10 out of 10 in all those categories. And when you have a player really follow a game plan, good things happen. If you deviate from the game plan, not so good things happen individually and for your unit that's on the floor with you. And we're still trying to figure out exactly who's going to follow a game plan and compete and play with their instincts. And, hopefully tonight when we go back, we watch film, we get a little bit better. Well, he's tough. He competes. He's fearless. We can't teach that. I mean, those are innate things. He has got to get better at converting from the foul line. He has got to get better in late game situations. He gambled against Stanford. It almost cost us the game. Tonight, he fouled a 3-point shooter, which ended up in a 4-point play late game. He has got to get better in late game situations. But he does a lot of things that we cannot teach. He's got to improve as a shooter. But he's got all these qualities that are super great because you can't I can't teach a guy to be tough. We can't teach a guy to be competitive. We can't teach somebody to be fearless. And he's got all those things, which are non-teachable things. Now, these other things we feel are teachable. And he's a freshman. So he's got a learning curve, but he's playing, Scotty, because of those three things: toughness, fearlessness, will to win, all those things he's great at.
You may not have a crystal ball on this, but I think this season, especially in competitive games, you've probably played more guys first and second half than you have in the previous 4 years. Is it a matter of things you keep talking about, still kind of searching for combinations and guys to step up? Or could this be a thing that carries through even league play?
Yeah.
Do you chance to even think that far ahead?
I mean, great question, Kevin. I don't know. Eventually guys are going to, they're going to either, we're giving guys opportunities, but it's starting, like, you got to play with consistency. You can't be good one night and then struggle one night. You got to have mental toughness that if the shot's not falling or you're not scoring, that you're defending, you're diving on the floor for loose balls, you're scrapping out 50-50 balls. We don't have everybody doing that right now, which is okay. We have to figure out who will do that, because you got to win 50-50 balls to win close games. And so Devo's playing a lot of minutes because he does that. Regardless of what he's doing offensively, he is getting 50-50 balls. He is competing with the guys guarding. So yeah, I think tonight was a product of guys not going over dribble handoffs and giving up threes. And so next man got a chance to go in. And so it was kind of a revolving door, not based on depth. It was based on not following the game plan and giving up threes, to be honest with you. I'd love to tell you that it was all based on depth and we wanted to get a bunch of guys in, but it was several guys not doing what they were supposed to do.
Hey, the other night, after the Duke game, I think it was TB&L said that Chandler's a glue guy. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, a glue guy means somebody that is there for his teammates, somebody that might not show up in the box score every night, but is contributing. Somebody that's willing to set screens, somebody that's willing to put their hands up in our stab stance when their man sets a screen, in how we guard pick and roll coverages. That's a glue guy. He does a little bit of everything. He takes pride in the little things that don't show up in a box score. I don't know what those guys think a glue guy is, but that's what I think a glue guy is.
Say he's low maintenance or no maintenance?
No maintenance. How about that?
That's good. I can't do better than that.
Thanks, everybody.